Over the years, I've been sharing my story of how I started my own lawn care business and became an entrepreneur. Throughout those years, I've met so many great people, and now it's time to share their story and have some fun along the way.
I've loved lawnmowers ever since I was born. I went through one of the little plastic toy lawnmowers every year. Every time my dad would come out here and cut grass, I'd be out there following him
Nice.
with the plastic lawnmower. I go through one every year.
Actually, it broke. And so I went to get it inspected, and I didn't really. And so I was actually going out to jobs, and I would leave the customer. I'd be like, "All right, see you later," and I would crawl in from the passenger side across to the driver's side.
Every money I get, I put it to the side, and I go buy more equipment every time. So every job I did, I put it to the side. I pay my bills, or I put $10 to the side, and I just keep building and building and building.
It's what I've always done, man. It's honestly, it's what I've always done. I've always worked 2 jobs. I've always done, whatever it takes.
Is this your first and original truck that you started with?
No, I actually started with a Dodge Dakota.
Okay.
And it was just rear-wheel drive. When I got the new trailer last year, I had to upgrade the truck. The Dakota just wasn't going to handle that. So
I gotcha.
So-
What size is your trailer?
it's a 6.5 by 14
Dual axle.
single axle.
Single axle.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I should have got the dual axle.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's always next year or the year after, right?
Yep. I'm definitely considering an enclosed trailer in the next couple of years.
Okay.
Because the wife wants the garage back, So.
Yeah, I hear you. And what kind of truck is this? I don't know if you
This
said
is a GMC Sierra. It's a 1500, and it's a manual transmission. I wasn't sure if I was going to like that, but it's fine. And it does the job. It's 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $2,500 for it. It's a 98,
Nice.
and it runs well. Runs really well. So.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Tell me a little bit about your story, man. I know a little bit about you, but how did you get started? How long have you been in lawn care?
I've been in lawn care in business for myself for the last 5 years. This will be my 5th year. And then I started, like most people, when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
I started my own business when I was about 11. And I got 1 yard. My
Nice.
mom would drive me in our station wagon,
Yeah.
and she did all the trimming.
Nice. So your mom was driving you around?
Yep, she drove me around, and like I said, she did all the trimming.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
So
blew-
it was a mom-son team.
Yep, and we broomed off all the sidewalks. We didn't have a blower, so
Nice.
yep.
Talk about starting from the basics,
Oh,
from
yeah.
the real beginning, man. That's like
Yep.
the hard knocks right there.
Oh yeah.
So then what transpired, so catch us up, what transpired between then and now? You had obviously a break of not doing that and just
Yep.
life.
I was homeschooled starting in 3rd grade, so I had a lot of time to kind of do whatever I wanted. My parents got me into a apprenticeship with a guy at our church, building storage sheds.
Okay.
And so I worked there for 10 years.
Wow.
I stayed on after the apprenticeship, which was like 2 years,
Okay.
and stayed on doing that and worked my way up to, they gave me a title of mill room manager, where I just cut lumber all day long. So I left that and went into retail. You can relate to that.
Yeah.
And
That was the beginning of the end for you, probably.
yeah,
Right?
worked my way up to manager there, and then from there, I did that for about 10 years. Then from there, I went into healthcare. I became a phlebotomist. That's drawing
Okay.
blood,
Yeah.
and I did that for about 2 years. And while I was there, I started the business,
Okay.
just part time.
And what was the reasoning behind that?
Actually, I wanted to buy the family a camper, and we needed extra money, so that's what I did.
There you go.
And
went back to your roots.
Yeah, and I loved it and stuck with it. And it just kept growing year after year.
Nice. Yep. So tell us about the setup. So this is your main setup, right?
Yep, this is everything. I've got a couple of Toro Time Masters, the 30-inch Toro Time Masters. They're not on the trailer. One just got back from getting repaired. But I have the Hustler Raptor SD. Last year, I added the Toro Grandstand Multiforce.
So has there been any challenges in the last 5 years for your business?
Oh yeah. The first real big challenge with my business, and probably with any business, is people taking advantage of you, getting ripped off.
Yeah, pricing or not paying you, that kind of
Yep.
stuff.
Definitely, it's the no payers, and I have remedied that by going to prepay.
Okay.
And I'm a big advocate.
When did you do
for
that?
Prepay. I did that. Would have been 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And you're saying you're a big advocate of that?
Yes, absolutely.
Why is it so helpful? What?
The reason it's so helpful is because they're paying in advance, and you get all your money up front, essentially. Not all your money, but a month in advance usually, and then you have the freedom to go and do the work without wondering if you're going to get paid or not.
Right.
So if they don't pay, you just don't do the work and you're not out anything.
Right. Versus doing the work, not getting paid, and then still not doing the work
Right.
until you get paid, and it's just like a
Yep.
whole big mess.
And typically, with the typical billing, you give 15 to 30 days to pay. So if you're billing at the end of the month after the work is done, then you're still cutting into the next month at least twice, and so they get a couple more cuts for free or whatever. So with prepay, they're not losing anything and you're not losing anything.
Yeah. So how has your turnover been? Do you have like some of the same clients when you first started? Do you have to shuffle through them every year?
I'm really proud of it. And it's about this way across the board, I would guess. But I have about a 90% retention rate on customers.
Nice.
So I have a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but I do have quite a few customers that I actually started with. Back when I started, I just started with a Toro Time Master 30-inch, and I mowed all my lawns with that. So now I've just kept growing, and they've grown with me. So even as I raise my prices, they stick with me. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
it's been really nice.
I mean, it seems like if you provide that great service, then that people will just stick with you unless something happens on their end where they can't afford it anymore, or they move or something like that.
I have had several move. I actually had one customer move this past fall, but they moved in city, and so they want me to just follow them to their new place. So it's really great.
Yeah, I remember in the past, like at one point you were kind of questioning some things about your business and beyond. Was it because of the slow payers or the no payers, or was it?
This past summer, I actually went through kind of a depression.
Okay.
And I didn't even realize it until just this past January.
January.
And so I got medication for it. I've been talking about it a little bit on social media. I've seen some other guys that have been going through just seasonal depression or whatever.
Yeah, the winter time is definitely one of those times that happens for most people.
But it really affected my mindset for a while, and I was questioning whether I wanted to continue in the business or not.
Because you contributed that to why you're feeling that way, and now in hindsight, as you're going through some of the healing steps, do you still feel that way, or
No,
there are some other factors and stuff?
It was
you
just
don't have to get into that, but
it was mostly it was a very dry season for us here in Michigan, and it was just something, I don't know, must have been a chemical in my brain that I just felt depressed and down. And
You
so
weren't doing as much work,
Yep.
probably contributed
Yep.
to it, and feeling like maybe this isn't as successful as I thought it was
Yep.
going to be, and all that kind of stuff just compiled on
Oh,
there.
yeah.
But,
So I was questioning it, but I went to GIE and got, kind of refreshed
Yeah.
there a little bit.
yeah, I remember
and
seeing
energized.
you there. Yeah, I remember that's what it was. Before the GIE, I remember you maybe made a video
Yep.
or talked about it somehow or another.
Yep, it was a video.
And then and then I saw you at the GIE, and it was it seemed like a nice break.
Yes, it was.
Being with your peers and hanging
Yep.
out with people you haven't seen in a while, and just kind of reconnecting. There's a lot of energy,
Yes.
in our community, let alone, and that manifests itself live, like
Mm-hmm.
at the GIE, the GIE Expo in Louisville, Kentucky, and that's why so many people look forward to it every year.
Because, any solo operator, they'll tell you, it's a grind all year.
Yeah,
And it wears on you.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
So
Definitely.
it's a great refresher to go to the GIE every year.
Yeah. So going forward now, what are some of the things that you're putting in place mentally, physically, or whatever to kind of keep you in that same positive mindset and just hit it hard this year?
That's a good question. I'm still working through that. I actually go to a counselor. We're gonna, work
Yeah.
through that. But last year I didn't really set many goals for myself. This year I'm setting a lot more goals for the business to kind of help me drive forward and continue to really push hard through the entire summer
Yeah.
and keep that positive mindset.
Yeah.
Because last year I really didn't have a good set of goals to work towards, and I think that's partly why
You didn't have anything
I
to
felt-
really look.
yep.
Yeah.
really felt like, okay, well, this is fun and all, but
Yeah. So what are some of just some of your short-term goals then that you would probably write down or have?
one of the goals that I have is to add 20 new customers this year,
Okay.
which is a lot.
I mean, it could be. It sounds
Yep.
like a lot, but for some people it
Yep.
might not be.
I'm really going to target some specific areas this year with door hangers. I don't know how they're going to work, but we'll see.
What have you tried in the past?
In the
you
past,
done
I've just used Craigslist and a website.
Okay.
My website has been huge for me the last couple of years, but I'm really going to focus on
Some guerrilla marketing.
yep.
Yeah. Get that direct
really
door
focusing.
hangers.
Yep.
Yeah. That you can really cherry pick the neighborhoods and houses and
Yep.
yeah.
Just talking with Brian's Lawn Maintenance, that's all he does. He doesn't have a website or anything like that. So, and he's big on route density,
Yeah,
and I really
definitely.
want to condense my route.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to focus on this spring, and then adding the 20 customers. And then also, I hope to hire on a part-time employee
Awesome.
this spring as well. So
Awesome.
those are just a few of my short-term goals.
Yeah, those are some good measurable goals,
Yep.
so you can really look at it and see.
Yep.
And so I heard you say about Brian's Lawn Maintenance, and so you're talking to different guys and getting info. So how beneficial has the community on social media for lawn and landscape? How beneficial has it really been to you?
It's very beneficial. I mean, you can get a lot of information just by getting on the Facebook forums or just watching YouTube videos, but there's a whole nother level to the community if you actually interact with individual lawn and landscape people
Yeah.
and really pick their brain, and you can really get a lot more ideas, because you can only go so far with YouTube videos and
Yeah.
things like that. So
Yeah.
everybody has been super helpful and just willing to give any ideas.
Yeah.
So it's
I can only imagine guys like yourself, even me, but anyone that's gone through the things that we've gone through, and you weren't on social media, you didn't have a single person really, in that respect to turn to, how much more difficult all of these things would be,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
These different challenges, and decisions that you have to make, and you just really feel like you're all alone. But
Yep.
social media, man, it's really been something. It's really connected people, and in our community with lawn and landscape, it's been priceless, because it's
Absolutely.
just so much knowledge that everyone is willing to share and help, and then offline relationships develop on a more personal level, and you
Yep.
can actually meet in person and do things, and you find out people are in the same town or a neighboring town. You can
Yep.
get together and just really sometimes even pass work off to each other. I mean,
Yep.
just in Michigan alone, there's so many people that I keep finding, on social media that are
Absolutely.
in here. And I mean, it's the sky's the limit to all you guys working together and helping each other. I mean, there's plenty of lawns for everyone. It's not like anyone has to really fight, as long as we're all in the same mindset and we're all fair and we're not trying to get over on anyone, but I think most people in this community are in that mindset of let's help each
Yep.
other, and the ones that aren't are the ones that are, click and dislike and all that kind of stuff. They're just watching from afar, but they're really not involved in the
Yep.
community like the ones that should be are. So,
Yep.
so that's awesome, man. What piece of advice would you offer anyone else kind of in your scenario? They've been doing this for a few years, and maybe they've been struggling with some of the things mentally and business wise as you. Like what advice would you give them if they're struggling right now and they're like, man, that's me, I don't know what to do, like I feel like I should just quit, or do I don't even know what I'm thinking right now, I'm just so confused. What would you offer them?
I would tell them, number one, don't quit yet. To stick with it, and definitely get into, whether it's local or online, get into some sort of mentoring group where you can get some encouragement, and be willing to express those feelings of being, feeling alone or feeling like you want to quit. Express those to somebody, because they can really help you out. If you have specific questions, just about a whole plethora of stuff. So just interacting with people is huge. I know a lot of times you can feel very alone in this business if you're a solo operator.
Yeah.
And not connected with somebody. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, is just get connected with somebody in the industry that's been there and can give you some encouragement.
Yeah, because you're not alone.
Right.
Right, you're not alone. There's so many other people out there that are going through the same thing as you, and can just help you,
Yep.
just by talking about it. So
Absolutely.
thanks, man. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having me over
Yeah,
and
you
sharing your
bet.
story.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and click the bell for future notifications. Check back for the next episode in 2 weeks and catch my live show on echomeansbusiness.com every third Wednesday of the month.